Oh, how I love to sing.
It's open to anyone who's had mental health problems. The Manchester Mental Health Choir will meet every week at 7 p.m. at the prestigious Bridgewater Hall.
CCC is an organisation that create projects to break down the barriers and enable people with disabilities to access the arts. Now, as CCC, we have partnered up with choirmaster Dan McDwyer to create a mental health choir that is called Be Vocal.
Me.
The choirmaster has seen the benefits and works with the now world-famous Pars Wood School Choir.
Working with lots of choirs in Manchester and teaching singing, you come across a lot of people who do struggle with mental health difficulties, and you see first person how singing does actually make such a big difference. I've worked with lots of people individually who can be very anxious and find it quite hard to speak, but actually then, in singing lessons really come out of the shell.
Hi, I'm Jed, and I ensure the smooth running of the choir by coordinating all the volunteers and the 6 members of staff at every Wednesday rehearsal.
And as much as it's about fun, the choir is rooted in science.
What happens in the brain when you're actually singing is 2 different things. So the first thing is your happy chemicals that your body naturally creates called endorphins. So the same thing as if you do a workout or something like that. And you sing with other people, the second hormone that's released is called oxytocin, and that's your body's sort of love hormone, if you like.
I feel the song, the vibrations of the whole group, and it's like a switch that turns on my positive emotions.
My name is Elaine Craig, and I'm a psychologist that supports Be Vocal Choir. And I know you're going to hear a couple of the testimonies, a couple of the stories of our choir members whose choir participation has made an incredible impact on their mental health. And for that, we are so, so proud.
Going to the choir the first time was terrifying, and I nearly turned around so many times.
One of the biggest paradigm shifts that the BPS, the British Psychological Society, have released over recent years is about people having autonomy and people getting control back of their own mental health. And that's why things like social prescribing has come into effect.
I've also learned again the value of life and the joy I bring in other people in the community. There's been times I felt I needed to finish it all and give up with life and that. But now I know that life is valuable. As long as I follow this track on the way to a much happier me, I'll know I'll help others too. The choir unexpectedly brought joy back into my life. I'm still building on this, and I cannot express enough its value.
We want to offer some sort of social community that comes together via one aim, and that's mental health, and be able to empower those people, let them master a skill, that let them take part in rehearsals and rebuild that capacity to contribute to community, and just see people flourish once again in spite of the daily challenges that they might be going through.
I didn't even want to go out the house to socialise with friends and family. The choir has made me want to do this again. I can now cope much better when I feel anxiety and depression starting to happen. I'm making plans for the future and feel a lot better about mixing with people socially. I don't seem to feel so anxious as often, and I have a brighter outlook on my future.
We've started a research project that's tracking the mental health symptoms using 3 of the standardised NHS surveys for anxiety, depression and well-being. And we've tracked those symptoms right from week 1 of the choir at 6-week intervals. And the results we've had are really quite astounding.
I felt my life had gone and I was feeling so low until I joined the choir, and it's all changed.
And we've seen people who have been locked in isolation in their own homes for years actually feeling compelled to come to the choir, and then starting things like applying for interviews, applying for jobs.
Before joining the choir, I'd been unable to go out socially in the evenings for 7 years. I lacked confidence and struggled with anxiety.
We hear the statistic all the time that 1 in 4 people suffer with mental health challenges, and yet the people who do suffer seem to feel lost and isolated because no one's talking about those challenges and no one can put a face to the statistics.
It makes you realise how many people are impacted by mental health.
And we've had a lot of people say within the choir their well-being has increased because they found a place where the 1 out of 4 belong.
I actually got a bit emotional after this week's practice. For the first time in a long while, I felt accepted and needed, and that's a big thing for me. I have joined our wellbeing team at work and am talking about mental health issues. If I can help one person to speak out, then I feel that I've achieved something.